What is an empowered woman to you?
Happy pussy, happy mind,
Yes. Yes, I have read
happy
that article.
and
Hey there, Zesties! Welcome back to the Gleeful Talk Show, where we share zesty stories to cultivate the happiness and hero within. Before we start this episode, I'd like to invite you to please like, follow, or subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow the show on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That's at Gleeful Talk Show. Feel free to email me at gleefultalkshow@gmail.com for any episode suggestions or slide me a DM on my socials. If you'd like to give me a cup of coffee or two, head down to the episode notes to find out how. I'm so privileged to be able to speak today with someone whom I consider as an epitome of an empowered woman. Not only I am in awe with her accomplishments, but also with her mind. So I've grabbed this opportunity to get to sit down and pick her brain. She wears a lot of hats. She's an accomplished author, writer, poet, essayist, and speaker who maintains a travel column on TV5's Interaction.com and writes for Rappler and Sunstar Cebu's travel section. She has also won numerous awards, including first prize on 2013 Palanca Awards, Cebuano Short Story Category, and 2013 Sinulog Writing Contest, Poetry and Personal Essay Category, and has spoken to prestigious platforms, including University of San Carlos Talk. Please welcome the unapologetic Jona of Backpacking with a Book. Yay! Hi, Jona.
wow, that's a lot. half of it wasn't true. Just kidding.
Thank you for guesting here. So I wanted to ask you some questions. What is an empowered woman to you?
Okay. Is it the first question?
Yeah. Or whichever.
Okay. Okay. All right. So what is an empowered woman for me?
To you.
Yeah, so it is actually a very subjective question, and of course the answer varies from one person, from one woman to another. For me, it is about, and I often talk about it. Can we use bad words in this?
Yes, we can. By all means.
I've written about something. And what is success for you? And for me, it can be easily transformed into what is an empowered woman to me. And for me, it's always about happy pussy, happy mind.
Yes, I have read that article.
Yeah. And what's the other one? Happy heart. Yeah. So it translates to owning your body and continually growing in terms of emotions, finance, and I would say intellect, and even to some extent spirituality. So for me, that is an empowered woman. And yeah, just owning your own shit and taking the lead of your own life, regardless of what others say.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And I've read on that article that you said that a woman's worth does not depend on her being married and having kids. And yes, it totally resonated with me. But I feel like women feel undervalued if they are not married or if they don't have kids. Although it took me a while to discover this notion that it actually doesn't undervalue our worth. But do you think it's a factor of culture of this kind of mentality, or it's the society as a whole?
Yeah, I would say that it is a byproduct of highly patriarchal society. It's not just in the Philippines where we come from. It's all over the world. Even Western women have been asked the same questions by their parents, by their relatives when they reach a certain age and they're still not married, or if they are married and they still don't have kids. So it is the problem of society as a whole, I would say. And I just want to say this out there, that it doesn't mean that, coming from a position of a single woman and unmarried childless woman, like I'm disparaging women who actually get married and who actually get or have kids. There's nothing wrong with those choices, but there's nothing wrong with my choice either. So it's just like respecting our choices and not insisting our set values to others.
Yeah.
Because I said, like, when you ask a single woman, like, hey, when are you getting married? A single woman would never ask, hey, why did you get married?
Yeah.
Hey, why did you have kids? It's like, we never ask these questions. So do not impose things that others don't consider as a path for their own lives. It's their lives after all.
It looks like it was the norm. That's why people think that you're not normal. That path is not normal in a sense. So, but do you think right now it has kind of shifted a little bit, right? This kind of
shifted. Yeah, but it is a process, and it's a long process. I mean, patriarchy has been there since society has emerged and has formed, and it would take a while. And of course, even though even the most empowered women or people out there would slip once in a while and would see themselves asking the same questions that they actually hated, because it's deeply rooted. It's like it's a system that we are fighting against, and that system is very, very old. So it's not an easy process to it's not a process
change.
that happens overnight.
Yeah. Because I'm married, but I don't have kids. And in a sense that I'm married, the family or maybe Filipino relatives would always ask me if I cook. And I'm not a good cook. And they always say that, oh, you should cook for your husband, otherwise the husband will leave you. Do you know that that saying?
I hate it a lot. Because I've been asked, like, Jona, you're such a great cook. Why are you still single? I always say, like, because I'm not looking for a husband or for a man who's looking for a maid.
No.
That's a problem, because cooking and cleaning, we see them as gender roles instead of adult skills. So for me, if I'm looking for a husband or a partner in life, those qualities are like on the top. So like if I ever get married, I want my husband to know how to cook well and know how to clean his own space. Own mess, because I cannot be that person who will, some men don't even know how to put their dirty underwear in the laundry bag. And it's like, that's too much. I mean, it's not about gender, it's about life skills. And everyone, regardless of gender, have to have it. But then again, if you're a woman and you don't like cooking, then find a man who knows how to cook.
Yes, exactly. Good thing I found one.
Good job.
I just eat. But to me,
you do the dishes.
although it's like, it's not like me. If I want to cook or learn how to cook, it's not because I don't want my man to leave me, but it's just because I want to learn that skill. Not
true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out, because many still think that when a woman does something, they always think that there's a man behind it. It's like the same simple example. I don't wear makeup, but I have a lot of girlfriends who do. And he always say like, men think that women wear makeup for them. Like, shut the fuck off. I said, like, why do you think you're the center of the universe?
Yeah.
And it's very common. It's very common. So yeah. So yeah, you do it because you love it and because you are curious, and that's a good thing.
Speaking of women empowerment in our culture and in the Filipino culture, when did you discover this thinking? Because to me, it was kind of like I was a bit late in this arena, and I think it's maybe because I maybe I was just stuck in my little hometown. I don't know, but how is it for you?
I think for me, reading plays a vital role. I've been an avid reader since I discovered the written word. I grew up in a very poor family and also in a very impoverished village. And I remembered, I think I was 8 or 9, that I discovered a very old Reader's Digest.
Mm.
And then that time, we got a Plan International Dictionary. It's a really thick one. It's like English, Tagalog, and Cebuano. And I learned that there are so many words and worlds that I don't really have an idea, or like I'm alien to them. And that's how it started. That the early cultivation of reading. And then when I was a uni student, my reading, because I studied in the city and I had more access to books, good books, and I encountered a lot of writers that resonated with me. And I would say that women writers have left a huge impact in how I live my life. So I think that's how it started. And also that's how I realized, I noticed all these gender based inequalities around me. So that we expect a lot from women, but less from men. Like we always say, like men are men, boys will be boys. But when it comes to girls, there are so many restrictions that we have to deal with starting from an early age. So yeah, I think it started with reading.
And now that you've pointed out, like there's this word, the word slut. So it's like it's the actual meaning is like really a woman who casually has casual sexual relationships with others, but there isn't any male equivalent.
Yeah, there is a male equivalent, but it doesn't have the same stigma that women suffer from. For men, it's called man whore.
Yeah, okay.
but it's still glorified. It's glorified, like, oh, you can have as many women as you want, or you like, and that's like you are celebrated, you are glorified. But if you are a woman and you identify as a slut, it's like you're the most degrading human being out there. But I think it's high time for women to reclaim that word. Like if someone actually calls you a slut, you say, thank you. I own my body and I am having the best sexual experience there is.
That's
ashamed. Why not women own the term? I had this very anecdotal experience. The word was bitch, even though I've read recently that calling other women bitch is actually harmful. There was this colleague who was calling Siri to Google something for him. And I think the internet connection wasn't really good. And he was so annoyed that he called her bitch, like bitch. And I was like, we were next table with my girlfriend. So I said, yes, did you call me? my girlfriend said, I just laughed. Yeah, because women have to play an important role in reclaiming these words. If we are ashamed of such words and we ourselves put a stigma on ourselves, then no progress can be done. So if someone calls you a slut, say thank you. Yes, I'm having so much fun. So,
Yeah.
I mean, words are very political, and we can use them to fight against gender-based inequalities like this. So, yeah.
Yeah, well said. And that's a very good point. That's like really reclaiming the words.
Yeah.
I read somewhere, I'm not sure, but it was like in the social media that you shouldn't call, I don't know if you agree with this, like about the word human, because it's man. Does it have, do you think it's like people actually like do like the
Mm-hmm.
activists and stuff? So I don't know if you agree with it.
Not really. It's the same with history and her story. Like history is called
Mm,
as such because, well, honestly, men are in the early age are the historians. No, I mean language evolve over time, and humans don't exclusively belong to men.
mm,
And I mean, it's about humankind and humanity, and it's not. Well, I mean, it's still a work in progress. It's not just exclusive to the men population. And but that's too much of a stretch,
yeah,
no?
it's a stretch, right? When I read that, I was like, oh my God, like it's, I mean, to me, although words are powerful, but I mean, the meaning of the word anyway doesn't really just
So if
mean men.
is a woman is also from a word man. So instead of woman, what should we say?
Yeah. Yeah.
And also languages have actually among the languages, English is has the worst evolution.
Mm.
Many languages don't have gender. Take Cebuano, for example. Our pronouns don't have he or she. Ours is always neutral. So siya, like guapo
Mm.
siya. You know we're talking about a guy because there's guapo, which is a male adjective. So it's like he's handsome, guapa siya. She's
Mm.
beautiful. So in terms of language or linguistic evolution, English is actually very far behind from other languages because now they are pushing for gender neutral pronouns. Like if you don't know the person's gender and if you don't know what gender they identify with, it's now politically correct to say they instead of
Mm.
saying he or she.
Mm.
But we don't have that problem in Cebuano because ours is siya or
Yeah.
and that is inherently neutral. So that's why, damn Cebuano.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah, I kind of saw that the Google Translate is kind of sexist.
of course, it's AI. It's still behind.
Yeah.
And also, maybe the one who programmed the AI is also very sexist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as I said, language is still very political. And yeah, sexism is a huge part of it. And if we equate cooking with female, then of course the translation will be a mess. And also cannot be trusted. I mean, Google's
Yeah.
translation, like 80% of it sucks. So
Yeah. And now we move on to around the relationship area. So
mm,
I'm just wondering what your thoughts on like women waiting for him to put a ring on it. That's like, like always the thinking, doing it indirectly for him to put a ring on it, or what are your
there's
thoughts
nothing
on
wrong
that?
with that. I
Hmm?
say. By the way, I have two sets of wedding rings already.
Oh, two sets.
Yeah, my simple answer, if you ask me personally, is like I don't wait for him. I buy my own.
Yeah.
I bought this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's personal. If a woman has no problem waiting for, I have problems with waiting. I'm so impatient. So, but if a woman has no problems with waiting, then let her wait. But if she cannot wait any further and she knows that they are meant together, then why not propose to him or ask him directly, hey, I want my ring. Where is it?
Ah, nice.
Yeah, it's like, what's your plan? If we are not aligned, we're not in the same page, and then break up. What's the point of
Yeah.
waiting for many years leading to nothing? Not really nothing. You will have life experiences, some beautiful memories, and at the end, yeah, it will go downhill. But yeah, if you're not ready for that, I mean, if he's not ready for that, then cut
Why
the
wait,
chase.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, why wait?
Yeah.
Because again, personally, one of the virtues that I don't have is patience. So maybe that's the reason why I get too set. So
But that's a good one though. Like I think for me, if I wouldn't have been married, I would buy also a very nice engagement ring for myself.
yeah, yeah. And also it's
Very
very
nice,
handy.
no? Yeah.
I love traveling alone. And when you're a woman and you're traveling alone, and it's like, oh, where's your boyfriend? Where's your husband? I said, like, oh, I'm married. I just left him at home because I want to be alone right now. I don't want any men around me. So it's very useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember as well when my husband and I were just starting out, and because he was my first boyfriend who is not Filipino, then I was
Mm.
around like late 20s at that time, and I have this idea that white men are actually not loyal for some, the
Really?
yeah. I have, because of the movies that you see, right? Like I don't know,
Yeah,
like
okay.
because blame it to Hollywood, but I really had that idea that like white men are not a one woman man. So I
Mm.
was at that time, like really pointed out that if you're not serious, then let's not just go on.
Oh.
Yeah, but that was the
But
first time.
okay. Well, I get a very nice anecdote on that one. I've just read it, and it can be applied to all races. It says like if you encounter something, a negative trait, do not blame the entire race.
Exactly.
Blame the individual.
For him, right? At the first
Yeah.
instance. Yeah, it
Okay.
was like,
But that was a nice one. And now you're married. That's good.
yeah, yeah. And I actually told him to get tested before. Like,
Good. Before you had sex? Yeah, same. Same with my boyfriend.
okay.
Yeah. And it's a good I mean, people would actually think that it is, yeah, I mean, it's the same with the rest. It's like there's a stigma going on about HIV and AIDS and other STDs. But if you are really serious about someone and you had a history of having sex with others, unprotected sex with others, then if you really want to build that trust, yeah, it is best to have a test. So I did that with my boyfriend.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And then that was also my, like, maybe a signal for me that he is also serious, because I told him I was in the Philippines and he was in Hungary at that time, and I told
Mm.
him to get tested, and I was surprised that he really got tested. So, so it was good.
But you have to do it though every 6 months or every year.
Oh, we didn't do that now.
Well,
But I do in my own, like,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
woman
yeah,
thing, but
yeah, 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 yeah,
I didn't ask him now. I should have asked
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's for, yeah, it's actually important, like for overall health.
Yeah. Yes. What are other system and social injustices that you think hinders women fully utilizing their full potential?
There are many. If you actually break down women empowerment issues, it will go down to educational gap, gender pay gap, and also like child rape, domestic violence, marital rape, and a host of other issues. But yeah, I think I would focus on gender pay gap and educational gap. So it's like still, and it's not just Philippines, but many other developing countries, that if you are very poor and you have a daughter and a son, most likely you will choose a son for him to pursue his tertiary or high school and tertiary education, because at the back of your head as a parent, your daughter will end up as someone's wife, and it's the son's duty to look after his family, his parents. And that's the case in many developing countries. We're talking about India or Pakistan, Afghanistan, or in many African countries. So there is a huge gap between girls pursuing high school and tertiary education and boys pursuing the same career path. And also, the one that I'm really experiencing is the gender pay gap. So in Vietnam, it's everywhere. In Vietnam, the subject that I'm teaching is very demanding. And you're not allowed to disclose your salary, your monthly salary, but when it's pay time, and then we have a very funny system here that we are paid in cash, and you unintentionally see someone's payslip, and you would wonder why he's, say, earning as much as you do when his subject is not as demanding as yours, or why is he earning more when you are teaching the same challenging subject. And of course, it boils down to gender and also to skin color.
Yes.
Yeah, so they are connected. They are connected, that if you're a woman, and of course, if you're a woman of color, your salary won't be as par as your white male colleagues. And that's the reality that many women are, especially women of color, are experiencing right now.
Yeah, I've even experienced that in Dubai as well. So that's why I was not that happy in a sense of the working environment there. And but at least here in Australia so far, it's pretty good. So although like with the advent of this COVID-19, I think that has also opened up to some Asian racism more. Yeah, because of that. But so far here, it's pretty good in terms of that it's not that worse than other parts of the world. Then I mentioned to you, I think earlier, that like before last week, with Unilever, they have stopped using the word normal in their products. Well, for me, I guess to me, when I really look at their products before, like having like normal to dry hair or dry to normal skin, I didn't really think before that it's actually offending others because maybe it's really embedded in the culture that I didn't think that it's not inclusive. I just wanted to ask for you as well that when you looked at their products before, did it trigger some thoughts like, oh, this is not an inclusive product, something like that?
Coming from someone who doesn't have any issues with her hair, of course, it did not. I have no issues because I'm genetically gifted. I do nothing. I don't even brush my hair, and I just shampoo every day, which they said is not really.
It's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm Filipino. I mean, we wash our hair every day. We are trained now. It's in our culture. But when I was a uni student and I got interested in copy design, that copy writing, what you see in everything, matters. And also, some of my influences in uni were Black women, and that's when it started to see things from not necessarily from my perspective, because as I said, I don't have problem with my hair, but just imagine being a Black kid, and then you would go to a supermarket and you go to the shampoo hair care section, and you see all these, like an entire row of products that say normal, and you don't identify with the woman in the picture which has straight hair. And let's imagine how traumatic that is to the Black community. And of course, Unilever, which is one of the biggest pollutants in the world. I mean, the plastic pollution.
I totally agree with that.
That's a different topic, but let's go to products. If they want to be politically relevant, socially relevant, of course they have to change that, because in terms of consumerism and in terms of Black population, how much do they use per month for certain products? Hair care is a massive industry for the Black community. If Unilever want to profit from that population, they have to cater, and of course they have to change their branding, because everything, I'm that type of person, when I poop or use a toilet, I look at the fine text in products. I love doing that. And then look at these very, certain chemicals that you're not supposed to use, and say like, oh, okay. And it's actually, I educate myself even while I'm
well, that's a good idea. But I get what you mean now, because to me, maybe because, like as you said, like we didn't have issues with our hair or anything like that. That's why we didn't thought about it. But it's good now that brands are being more inclusive. However, I'm just thinking whether, because they've also changed now the skin. So I'm curious how it will turn out in the Philippines, because Philippines, the whitening products.
Oh yeah, the whitewashing there. It's crazy.
I'm quite I don't know how it will play out there. Maybe they will still retain it because of the culture.
Yeah, of the culture of, being whitewashed for years. I mean, our education system is white, McDonald's is white, we play basketball and basketball courts are everywhere. It's so hard to whitewash a country that has a very long history of colonialism. And it's not just Philippines, it's all over Asia. Vietnam is a lot worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, in my case, I'm very dark. Even for a Filipino, I'm dark. For example, if you're Filipino and you're dark, it will be a lot harder to find jobs. If also is a lot, if you're Black, you're at the bottom, really, the bottom of racism. There's always a Black man or person at the bottom. And it's everywhere. And of course, media and entertainment industry play a big role on that one. And it's still in the, like, deep in our psyche that we are inferior, and if we can personally do something to fight against this inferiority, then you have the need, especially if you're growing, like the need to do it. If you think that a brown person is not at par with a white person, then you do something like whitening your skin. To some extent, like when you reach a certain age, that you just do it because it makes you feel good. I would say like some friends love making their hair blonde, right? Maybe, I don't know, but maybe to some extent, when you reach a certain age, you just do it because you feel good about yourself, and it doesn't necessarily have any political undertones. But I don't know. I don't really know the answer. So, but will whitewashing continue in the Philippines and in Vietnam? Yes, of course. That would go on forever. I mean, the foreseeable future. Another 50 years, maybe? Another
Yeah.
100 years, who knows? I will not be there anymore. I'll be dead.
I just remember that in Netflix there are a lot of some Filipino movies, and my husband always says, "Why are these Filipino celebrities doesn't look like Filipino?" And
True.
even the Miss Universes,
Yeah.
he said like it doesn't look Filipino. Like why do they represent the Philippines? And I was just like laughing because oh yeah, that's us. That's how it is there. Like that's just
Yeah,
how
but
it
then
is.
but also it's troubling
Yeah.
because from the very beginning there's no such thing as Filipino, and we are mixed, and that's makes us Filipino. I mean, yeah, Malay, we had the Malay blood, Chinese, then Hispanic, and then American. And if we actually do a DNA test of ourselves, a mixture of everything. But of course, like the ones in missing, and also I have a problem with them, but then
Yeah.
they are not really, we cannot really say that they're not Filipino.
How? I don't know.
Yeah, but then again, I would say like most Miss Universe don't really, like all these beauty pageants, don't really show the real essence of a woman. Because I mean, if the real essence of a woman is legged, very skinny, big boobs, those beautiful bouncy hair, then 90% or 95% of the women population will not make it into the cut. I mean, it's pretty much like Instagram. It's a curation of a certain image. And of course, what should we do actually is demolish all those beauty pageants. A lot of Filipinos will cry.
Yeah. It's like it's a sporting event already. Like
Yeah.
it's like
But
it's
then again,
either for Filipinos it's like boxing or beauty
yeah,
pageant.
yeah, true. And also, I'm not a huge fan of those pageants, but I like the wit and the puns that come after. Those comments trolling in, like
Yeah.
making fun of their answers, making fun of their gowns. I really like.
Yeah, it's quite
Yeah,
funny, and
yeah,
like especially when the Pia words back time that there was this mistake in the
oh yeah,
announcement, those memes, it's very funny.
yeah, true. And we are grammar Nazis as well.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I remember also just recently.
Major one.
Mhm. Yeah,
Major.
I think because Filipinos we don't really, it's not our native language English, so we
Hmm.
really try to learn the grammar, and that's why every every wrong grammar is like always being nitpicked.
Yeah, true. That's true. Which is actually sad because our in the Philippines, I think it's only in the Philippines that we value English so much that, yeah, and also accent. That if you don't sound Filipino, you are smart. Like meh.
Yeah, yeah. I actually, yeah, I didn't like that part as well. Like to because in the Philippines, if you talk very good English, like just like me, and maybe a different accent, not like the
Yeah,
regular
like the call
Filipino
center
accent.
accent.
Hmm?
The call center accent.
Yeah. So it's like you're regarded as like not smart or not sophisticated or something.
Yeah, true. Which
Yeah.
is fucked
But
up.
it's actually also prevalent all over the world anyway, the accent.
Yeah, but accents are here forever. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're an American, you can't tell who's from Texas and who's from North Carolina. So it's everywhere. And if we pin someone's
Accent.
value with his or her accent, then that's problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a superpower, what would that be and why? Just like Miss Universe pageant. Jonah Bering. If you have a superpower, what would that be and why?
I think the power of invisibility. Like
Oh.
go into someone's life without me. I think that would be fun. It's very selfish though, and that will not change how the world is turning in right now. So I don't know.
It's okay. Okay, so that's your personal thing. If you would have been Miss Universe, what would be your Miss Universe answer for that? Your Miss Universe version.
And the power that can change world poverty.
World peace.
World peace and world poverty, okay? The power to solve all these problems.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay, thank you so much, Jona, for imparting your knowledge, your words, and wit to us, to our listeners out there. And where can our listeners find you? Your social media platforms.
I'm very active on Instagram, or not really, but yeah, I will be active on Instagram. My main platform is Backpacking with a Book. But if you love cooking, gardening, and seeing cute photos of my cats, then it's Home Homes. Like home and then HUMS. Home Homes. Yeah.
That's it. All right. Thank you.